All right, so I just got done teaching a really short practice for Columbus State University for their honors class on self-care. And I thought I would just share that practice with my YouTube channel. First of all, because I figure that all of my students at UGA might need a little bit of self-care in this moment, a little bit of attention and compassion for themselves. This practice is meant to be kind of accessible. It won't be totally accessible for every single body. You do need to be able to get down onto the floor and get back up. There is weight bearing in the hands, but the practice itself is fairly slow paced, and I do encourage you to take any variations and expressions of the poses that feel good in your body. There's no perfect version of the poses that we are going to try in this sequence. So having your knees bent or your knees straight, having your knees down on the floor or tented up high, there's no right or wrong way to be in this class. Really and truly, what I want for this practice is for it to be a moment that you can bring your attention internally to your own body. All you need for this practice is a little bit of space. If you have a mat, great, grab your mat. If you don't have a mat, just a little square or rectangle of space where you can move your body will be fine. So let's get started. All right, we will begin seated on our mats, finding a comfortable seat. You might bring your hips up onto a blanket, or you can leave them down on the ground. You can sit back on your heels. You can come to sit crisscross, whatever feels nice for you in this moment. And just lengthen up through the spine. Come to a sort of long, straight spine if you can find it. And bring your hands to the tops of your knees. And just begin to find a moment of stillness here. If it feels okay for you, you can allow your eyes to fall shut. Or just find a soft gaze down toward the ground. And we'll begin to notice our own breath. And where it feels most salient in the body. Take a long inhale and fill up the body with air. Fill up first belly, expands out, and ribs, and chest. And exhale, release that breath. Inhale, breathe up belly, ribs, chest. Hold at the top. And exhale, release. One last time, breathe up belly, ribs, chest, and exhale all the way to the bottom. You can blink your eyes open, bring your hands down to the outsides of your hips onto the ground beneath you. And when you're ready, take an inhale, reach both arms up and overhead. And exhale, your left hand comes down to the ground, your right arm stretches up and overhead. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, bring it down to the other side. Inhale, reach both arms up through center. And exhale, take a gentle twist around and to your left. Your right hand on the top of your left knee, your left hand behind the back. And don't sort of grind and twist yourself pulling yourself into this twist. Just allow it to happen in whatever level feels nice for you right now. Take an inhale, reach both arms up through center, and exhale, twist around to the other side. Your left hand comes to the top of your right knee, right hand behind the back. Perhaps your gaze stretches around behind the back. Take an inhale, both arms come up through center. And exhale, hands and knees come down to the mat. So you find this sort of tabletop position, a neutral tabletop where your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. You can tuck your toes under. Grip the mat with your hands. And we'll start to move through some cat and cow shapes here on our mat. So drop the belly, lift the gaze, lift the hips. Inhale. And exhale, round the spine, drop the head, drop the tailbone down. Inhale, drop belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, round. You can take this a few more times to the rhythm of your own inhales and exhales, waking up the spine. And then we'll transition into some organic movements of the hips and the spine, maybe making C shapes, looking over the shoulder and back toward the hips, maybe making sort of barrel rolls with the chest. Moving with the breath. And as you're ready, come back to a neutral tabletop. Grip the mat with your hands, ground down into the left hand, and take an inhale, reach your right fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, thread the right hand underneath the left armpit, come down onto your right temple, your right shoulder. You can bring your left hand right in front of your face and leave it there. You can stretch it up towards the top edge of the mat, or maybe take a little bird wing behind the back. And reach for your right hip pocket. Notice the stretch and the sensation. And from here, take your left hand and bring it right back beside your face if it wasn't there already. Press into your left hand, reach your right fingertips up toward the sky, and exhale, your right hand comes back down to the mat. Now for the other side, grip the mat with your right hand, take an inhale, lift your left fingertips to the sky, and exhale, thread the left hand underneath and bring your left temple down to the mat. Find the placement that you'd like for your right hand. And as you're ready, bring your right hand down to the mat and really grip that mat with your fingertips. Take an inhale, lift your left fingertips up and to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat. Tabletop. Swish out the hips left and right here just for a moment. We're moving into downward facing dog. So you're going to take your hands and move them about a handprint in front of their current position and tuck your toes under. One major misconception about downward facing dog is that you need your legs straight. And if you don't have your legs straight, you're not in the pose or something. For downward facing dog, what's really nice is to get a long straight spine to sort of decompress and invert the spine. So we're gonna lift our hips up toward the sky as much as possible, and we can bend our knees as much as we like to get that to happen. So when you're ready, press your hips up and back, and you can leave your knees bent. You can even press your chest down toward your thighs, keeping your knees bent as much as you need to lift your hips up high, high, high. Take a moment here to walk out the dog, maybe bend generously into one knee, straightening the other leg, then bend into the other knee and straighten the other leg. Notice the rhythm of your breath here. Take a long, deep inhale in your downward facing dog. And a nice, slow exhale. On your next inhale, lift your right heel to the sky. Exhale, plant that in between the hands and come down onto your left knee. And use your hands to walk yourself up to this low lunge position, Anjaneyasana. You can press your hips forward, or you can leave them more in a vertical. Take an inhale, reach your arms up toward the sky, and maybe gaze up for just a moment. A little challenge of balance sometimes in this pose, and sometimes you can start to feel some loud sensations in the grounded knee. So if you like to bring a blanket or a pillow under there, you can do that. Take an inhale, reach the fingertips up to the sky. And exhale, bring your left hand down to the inside of your right foot. Your right fingertips stretch up to the sky. Exhale, right hand comes down to the other side of the right foot. Tuck your left toes under, bring your right foot back to meet the left. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your left heel to the sky. Exhale, plant the foot in between the hands, ground down your right knee, and inhale, walk yourself up. Low lunge. On the other side, when you're ready, inhale, lift the fingertips, and maybe lift the gaze. If this is a little challenging for balance, you can find a surface to touch as you lift. And you can press your hips forward in space, or you can keep them more or less even. Breathe in long and slow here. And exhale, right hand comes down to the mat inside the left foot. Left fingertips reach to the sky. Breathe here. Exhale, left hand on the outside of the left foot. Tuck your right toes under and bring your left foot back to meet the right downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend into your knees, look to the top of the mat, and you can step your right foot and then your left up to the top of the mat. Take an inhale, halfway lift, hands come to the shins or the thighs. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands come down to heart center. We'll take a half sun salutation. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands onto the mat, step your feet back to plank pose for just a moment. You can lower your knees or keep them lifted and lower all the way down to the mat. Take an inhale, press the chest up, and exhale, press back to child's pose. You can bring your forehead to the mat. You can open your knees wide, wide, wide to make space for the body to fall in between the knees. And just notice what it feels like to breathe here. Nowhere to be. Nothing else to do for just a few more moments. As you're ready, press yourself up to a seat. You can bring the soles of your feet toward one another to touch. Your knees might be high, they might be low, they might be touching the ground, they might not be, and your feet, your heels can be far forward or they can be very close to the body. You can bring your hands to your feet and give yourself a little foot massage while we're here. We might as well, right? Use the thumbs to massage out the soles of the feet. Take the thumbs and open the soles of the feet out like the pages of a book. Lift up through the crown of your head. And exhale, fold forward any amount. So you might be totally flat on the ground here. You might just be here, right? But just allow yourself to fold forward and bring the gaze downward for just a moment. Take an inhale, press yourself up. Bring your hands to the outsides of the thighs, knees come toward one another, and lower yourself all the way down to your mat. You can allow your knees to tent up toward the sky. Your feet can walk out to the outer edges of the mat. Knees rest together if you like, or you can extend your legs long on the mat. Hands can come to your belly, or you can stretch them out and shine the palms of the hands up toward the sky. We'll settle in here for just a few moments. You can allow your eyes to fall shut if that feels safe wherever you are. Here we'll breathe together and just progressively relax the body. So you can follow my instructions or just ignore them, whatever feels right now. Allow the muscles of the face and the jaw to release. Relax the shoulders, the arms. Release any tension in the hands and fingertips. Relax the belly. The fronts of the hips. Release the thighs, the calves, the feet and the toes. And just notice what it feels like to breathe. Begin to deepen the breath. Bring small movements to the body, the fingers, the wrists, the toes. Stretch everything out like you're waking up in the morning. Hands as far as you can get them away from your toes. Take a long inhale. And exhale, hug everything in. Roll over onto whichever side you prefer. And using the strength in your hands, press yourself up to a seat. Find that comfortable seat again. And one more time together, we will fill the body with air. Take an inhale into the belly, balloon up the belly. Spread the ribs. Inhale further to expand the chest. Hold at the top. And exhale, release. I want to thank you all so much for practicing with me. If you are my UGA student, I want to especially thank you for being here with me and doing this practice. It is really a pleasure to share this part of myself and my life with each of you. So thank you.